There is a place in Texas with 120 fuel pumps standing in a row out front. That is not why people come. They drive past every other gas station on the highway to reach this one. They plan their road trips around it. They tell their grandchildren about it. And when they get there, they walk past the pumps, past the wall of beef jerky, and they head for the bathroom. And when they come out, they are smiling. I want to tell you how that happened, because from where I sit, in Europe, it makes no sense at all. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized the story isn't really about a bathroom. It's about a man who looked at the single most disrespected part of American life and decided that was the thing worth being the best in the world at. His name is Arch Applin III. Everybody calls him Beaver. Start with the scale because you cannot understand any of the rest of it until you understand the scale. In Luling, Texas, a town of about 5,000 people, mostly known for oil pumps painted like cartoon characters, there is a building of 75,000 square feet. That is larger than a football pitch. It is a convenience store. It has 120 fuel pumps. 120. Where I come from, a petrol station has 4. 6 if it's a big one. The first time I laid eyes on that forecourt, I genuinely thought I was looking at an airport. It is the largest convenience store in the world, and the company is so protective of that title that in January of this year, when a rumor started that a proposed store in Florida might be bigger, they put out a formal statement to say no. Luling is the largest. Luling stays the largest. That is not the behavior of a petrol station. That is the behavior of a landmark. And you know it's coming long before you get there. Somewhere on an American interstate, 100 miles from anywhere, there is a billboard with a cartoon beaver on it. Then another, then another. Some of them are advertising a store more than 1,000 miles away. 1,000 miles. That's London to Rome, and then some, just to tell you there's a place ahead where you can go to the toilet. The children in the back seat start counting them. That's the point. By the time the family arrives, the stop has stopped being a stop. It's become the destination. It began in 1982 on the Texas Gulf Coast, in Lake Jackson, a small city in the flatlands south of Houston where the refineries are. Beaver Applin was in his 20s. He had graduated from Texas A&M 2 years earlier, and he opened a small convenience store about 3,000 square feet. Ordinary, forgettable. The kind of building you have driven past 10,000 times without once turning your head. Before long, he had gone in with another local store owner, a man called Don Wasek, and the two of them set about expanding it. There were already tens of thousands of places exactly like it in America. The business was brutal, the margins were thin, and everybody in it competed on the same two things: the price of the fuel and how close you were to the road. Applin decided to compete on something else entirely. Here is the decision that everybody misses, and it is the one that makes all the rest of it possible. Buc-ees does not allow 18-wheelers. Not discourages, does not allow. There are signs at the entrance that say so, in plain letters, at every single location. Now understand what that means. The American long-haul truck driver is the most reliable customer in the entire roadside economy. He buys enormous quantities of fuel. He stops every single day. He is the foundation that every other travel plaza in the country is built on. Chains like Pilot Flying J and Love's Travel Stops built entire empires serving exactly this customer. Turning him away is like a pub deciding it would rather not serve people who drink. It has made the company enemies. Truckers have been vocal about it for years, and you can hardly blame them. The company has always explained it plainly enough. The lots aren't built for trucks, the driveways aren't built for trucks. And that's true. But I think there's a second reason sitting underneath it, and I don't think it's an accident. Because Applin had worked out something about the arithmetic that nobody else was willing to act on. And what that single decision bought him is the entire reason this place exists. It's the thing that turns a shop into a phenomenon. Before I tell you what it was, do me one favor. Press subscribe on the screen if you're watching this on the television, just under the video if you've got it on a phone. Big screen or small, it's the same button. That's all I ask, because this channel exists to find the pieces of America that are sitting in plain sight, that everybody drives past, that nobody has ever bothered to explain properly. Press it, and then let me tell you what he was really doing. He was buying back the bathroom. Think about what a truck stop actually is. A place where drivers park for hours, sometimes overnight. Showers, lots that never empty. And in the middle of it, a restroom that never gets a moment's peace, used around the clock, cleaned when somebody gets to it, and by 10 in the evening, in a state that nobody wants to walk into. Every American watching this knows exactly the room I'm describing. You've been in it. You held your breath. Applin's insight was that the bathroom is not a cost. The bathroom is the product. And the only way to make it genuinely, reliably, astonishingly clean was to control who was using it and for how long, which meant, quietly and permanently, giving up the trucks. So the stores got families instead, and the bathrooms got staff whose entire job, all day, every day, is that room. People who have been in one describe walking in and finding somebody already cleaning, and then walking back an hour later and finding somebody cleaning again. In 2012, a company called Cintas ran its annual competition to find the best public restroom in America. It is a real contest. It had been running for 11 years, and the nominations that year came in from restaurants, hotels, museums, nightclubs, and football stadiums. That year, it was won by a petrol station in New Braunfels, Texas. The facility had 83 toilets. 83. America voted. And a roadside convenience store on Interstate 35 finished ahead of a luxury hotel in Chicago, ahead of the Hollywood Bowl, and ahead of the football stadium at Virginia Tech. Beaver Applin, receiving the award, called it, and this is his own line, not mine, the Taj Mahal of Texas. A tourist attraction, he said, in and of itself. He was joking. He was also completely right. Because here is what happens once the bathroom is the best in America. The family stops. They were going to stop somewhere anyway, but now they stop here, and they have driven an extra 30 miles to do it, and they arrive in a good mood instead of a bad one. And a family in a good mood with an hour to kill does not buy $11 of fuel and leave. They buy brisket, cut to order, from a pit with real wood smoke. They buy kolaches, the soft, pillowy Czech pastries that are as Texan as the highway itself. They buy fudge made in the store that morning. They buy a bag of caramel-coated corn puffs called Beaver nuggets, which no one can explain and everyone finishes before the next exit. They buy a t-shirt. They buy a soft toy beaver for the child. They buy a sign for the kitchen wall. They buy souvenirs at a petrol station. That is the machine. Refuse the trucks, win the bathroom, get the families, sell them the day out. Every piece of it depends on the piece before, and it all rests on a decision about a toilet that Applin made before most of the people now queuing for the brisket were born. For 20 years it stayed a Texas thing. Then it started to move. Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky. In 2024, a rebuilt store in Luling took the world's largest title away from a Buc-ees in Sevierville, Tennessee. This June, the first Arizona store opened, in Goodyear outside Phoenix, 74,000 square feet, 120 pumps, open every hour of every day of the year. And if you drive an electric vehicle, there are charging stations waiting for you too, because Buc-ees has moved into that space as well, planting fast chargers at locations where competitors like Quick Trip have barely started to think about it. The car park opened at midnight. People queued overnight. The city laid out a designated route through Goodyear just to get the traffic to the door, and the State Highway Department warned drivers to expect delays on Interstate 10 for the rest of that week. That is not a shop opening. That is a county fair. As of this month, there are more than 50 of them across more than a dozen states, and they are opening new ones every few weeks, pushing into states that have never had one. And this is where I have to be honest with you about why I find this story so difficult to look away from. I am not American. When people from my part of the world come to yours, there's a moment that happens, usually somewhere around the second day, when the scale of the ordinary stops being funny and starts being genuinely disorienting. It isn't the skyscrapers. Everyone expects the skyscrapers. It's the everyday things, the size of a supermarket trolley, the width of a road, the fact that a petrol station has a barbecue pit and a gift shop and a clean marble-floored bathroom with 83 stalls in it. You stand in the middle of a Buc-ees somewhere off an interstate in Texas, and there is a wall of jerky longer than your street at home, and a man is carving brisket, and a woman is stirring fudge in a copper pan, and a child is walking past with a stuffed beaver under his arm, and everyone is cheerful, and it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon on an ordinary Tuesday. And what you feel is not superiority, it is something much closer to envy. Because somebody in this country looked at the most unglamorous, unloved, taken for granted building on the American road, the place you stop only because you have to, and thought, no, this is going to be good. This is going to be so good that people plan around it. Nobody where I come from has ever thought that about a petrol station. Not once. There's a version of this story where it's a business lesson, and I could tell you that one. Differentiation, brand loyalty, the economics of the destination stop. But I don't think that's what it is. I think a man from a small town on the Texas coast understood something about his own country that the consultants never would. That Americans drive. That they drive enormous distances, with children in the back and a long way still to go, and that somewhere in the middle of all that road they are going to need to stop. And that the small mercy of a clean, bright, well-run room at the exact moment you need it is worth more to a tired family than any discount on a gallon of fuel. He was not selling convenience. He was selling relief, and then dignity, and then, somehow, a day out. 44 years later, there are more than 50 of them. The largest one is the size of a stadium, and a man in Alabama will drive past 40 gas stations to get to a particular bathroom. I don't think that's silly at all. I think it might be one of the most quietly American things I have ever come across. So where's yours? Which one do you stop at? And how far out of your way do you go for it? Tell me below, because I have a feeling the best stories about this place have never made it into an article. This channel is about exactly that. The America that's hiding in plain sight. The things you drive past so often you stop seeing them. The subscribe button is right underneath this video, on the television screen, or on the phone in your hand. Same place either way. Press it and I'll see you at the next one. See.